The snow had turned the streets of Quebec into a maze of white. Each lamp cast halos that glimmered on the frozen cobblestones. Isabella and Léo had barely slept since the river incident, their minds racing with the information on the flash drive and the shadowy figure still stalking them. "We can't stay here," Léo whispered, leading her through a narrow alley behind the Chateau Frontenac. "They'll be looking for us."
"Do you even know what's on the drive?" Isabella asked, clutching it tightly. "We barely scratched the surface."
Léo shook his head. "I only know Camille left instructions. There's a name, something connected to Cadron Holdings. Whoever it is, they're powerful. We need to be careful." They ducked into an old storage building near the river's edge. Inside, the walls were lined with forgotten crates, cobwebs stretching across corners, and the faint smell of pine. Léo set up a small laptop, connecting the flash drive carefully. Isabella hovered beside him, her eyes wide with anticipation. Lines of documents and scanned letters appeared, confirming everything they feared. The company had been laundering money through property deals, bribing city officials, and forging Léo's signature to take over historic buildings. And then Isabella saw it. A name repeated in several memos. Henri Dufresne. A wealthy developer known in Quebec for his philanthropy and secrecy. "He's the one," Isabella whispered. "This is the person who's behind everything." Léo's face darkened, and he won't hesitate to eliminate anyone who gets close. A sudden sound of scraping outside the building froze them. Léo's hand moved instinctively to Isabella's, gripping it. "They're here," he said. "Get ready." The door rattled as a shadow appeared. One of the men from the river incident tried to force it open. Léo grabbed a heavy crate, jamming it against the door. "Isabella, the back exit." They ran, snow crunching beneath their boots. The streets were labyrinthine, but Léo knew shortcuts, winding them toward the old ice skating rink near Place d'Armes. For a moment, they paused, catching their breath, the city's silence pressing around them. Isabella's hands were shaking. "Léo, we can't keep running like this forever." He nodded, his eyes scanning the frozen river nearby. "We won't. I have a plan. Camille left clues, and I think I know where to find the next piece of evidence." Suddenly, headlights appeared across the ice, the engine growling through the fog. The men had found them again. Léo pulled Isabella toward the ice, the wind stinging their faces. "Hold on to me!" he shouted. They ran onto the frozen surface, the river reflecting the pale moonlight. The ice groaned beneath their feet, each step precarious. Behind them, the figures on the riverbank shouted and pointed guns. The sound echoed across the water, terrifying and surreal. Isabella's heart pounded. "This is insane!" "Trust me," Léo yelled, leading her toward a small ice-covered pier that jutted into the river. Their plan was risky. Cross to the other side where the old boathouse would provide shelter and access to another safe location indicated by Camille. Halfway across, the ice began to crack audibly. Thin lines radiated outward like spiderwebs. Léo glanced down, then back at her. "Faster, we have to keep moving." Isabella stumbled, but he caught her elbow, steadying her. Each breath burned her lungs, adrenaline flooding every muscle. They were halfway when the ice groaned louder, shards sparkling as they shifted beneath them. From behind, the men were gaining ground. The crack of gunfire sounded close enough to singe her ears. Isabella clutched the flash drive, realizing that every step now mattered more than life itself. Suddenly, one section of the ice split, water rushing up to meet her boots. She screamed, teetering. Léo lunged, pulling her across a widening gap. They tumbled onto the next solid section, snow spraying around them. Panting, Isabella looked back. The men hesitated at the edge of the cracking ice, unwilling to follow. She turned to Léo, gratitude and fear mixing in her chest. "That was too close." He nodded, eyes fixed on the opposite bank. "We're not safe yet." The boathouse loomed ahead, abandoned but sturdy. Léo led her inside, slamming the door behind them. Inside, the air was damp and cold, but at least they were out of immediate danger. They collapsed onto a wooden bench, snow melting on their coats. Isabella finally let herself breathe. "We survived. For now," Léo said quietly, staring at the shadows dancing in the candlelight. "But they'll keep coming. Henri Dufresne has reach everywhere. If we want justice for Camille, we have to expose him carefully." Isabella opened the flash drive again, scrolling through files and letters. One document caught her attention, a ledger detailing secret payments and the people involved, but another file, labeled Personal Notes, seemed out of place. She clicked on it, Images of Leo and Camille appeared, candid, smiling, moments frozen in time. Then a scanned note appeared. Leo, if you ever doubt who is loyal, look to the one who stays through the storm. She frowned. Who was W? Leo noticed the screen. We need to find out who that is. Camille trusted them. Whoever W is, they could be the ally we need. Suddenly, the sound of footsteps approached from outside the boathouse. Isabella's hand shook. Leo grabbed her hand. Stay quiet. The door rattled. Shadows appeared under the cracks of the walls. One figure stepped in. A familiar coat, Henri Dufresne, his eyes cold, calculating. You should have stayed hidden, he said, voice smooth as ice. But curiosity, it always gets the better of people. Leo stepped in front of Isabella. Leave now, or I swear, Dufresne raised a hand. I don't need to hurt you yet. I just want the drive. The rest is yours if you're smart. Isabella gritted her teeth. Never. Dufresne smirked. Bold. But the ice always cracks eventually, doesn't it? Before either could react, a loud crack echoed. The boathouse floor shivered. Water seeped through the wood planks. Isabella's stomach lurched. Leo grabbed her, eyes wide. The river, it's breaking beneath us, he shouted. Dufresne's smirk faltered. You're on thin ice, literally. The floor split, sending shards of ice and water spraying. Leo and Isabella clung to each other, trying to avoid being swept into the freezing current below. Dufresne stepped back, watching, calculating his next move. Isabella's teeth chattered. We can't survive this. Leo held her tight. Yes, we can. Together. The water licked closer to their boots. Their only option, make a desperate dash for the far edge of the boathouse, the part still intact. Every step was a gamble. The ice creaked violently. They ran, hearts pounding, adrenaline mixing with terror. Snowflakes melted into icy water as they pushed through the collapse, reaching a safer spot for the moment. They collapsed again, soaked and exhausted. Isabella pressed the flash drive to her chest. We can't stop now. Leo nodded, brushing wet hair from his eyes. One more step. We finish what Camille started. We survive this storm, and then we expose everything. Outside fog rolled in over the river, hiding the path they had taken. But in the mist, a faint light appeared. A figure standing, watching, waiting. And then, without warning, the ice groaned beneath that figure.